I gotta tell you, San Antonio might be for real. 5-0, the first time in franchise history. Oh my God, NBA better watch out. As Heat lose 101-107 to the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio, Texas, still lead the division. Wemby, just a monster. I envy San Antonio because I wish we have a player that tall, which we kind of do. We have Khalil Ware, who dominated Victor Wembanyama last season, but that's besides the point. But he can move. He has long arms. He can dunk. He can shoot. I mean, geez, what more can you say that you're like, wow, this team is good. We were out rebounds. We were outscored, obviously, because that's how they win. The three-point shooting was better for the Heat, but not by much. At least I don't think so. However, I like to point out some positives, right? Now we can say things like, "Oh, this is abysmal" and all that stuff. No, I don't think it's a bad game at all. It's a good game that's got away in the third quarter, and especially the third quarter. Okay, third quarter that was definitely an abysmal quarter. But then they made this comeback and took the lead. At least this team is willing to fight. As far as I know, we're only 5 games in, and it's still a long season to press forward. But this was a good game. This just happened to be a very good San Antonio Spurs team. Greg Popovich, I'm sorry to say this, never got to 5-0. This is the first time in franchise history that they did. It's crazy. Okay, you have some really good plays. And if they can come up with something big, right? If Norman Powell was playing, this might be a little bit different. But then again, this game was close from pretty much the majority of the game. Yes, there was some times where the San Antonio Spurs were leading by 15, but the Heat made a comeback. It's possible. It's literally possible. Devin Vassell with some shootings, which was awesome. Julian Champagne is playing great. I already said Vassell. Right? Stefan Castle, which was remarkable. But I will say this, though. Despite those players, Bam Adebayo, man, he can keep up with Wemby. Wemby's way taller than Bam. And Bam could keep up with Wemby. I mean, hell, he even dunked on Wemby, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Bam has become a power forward while Khalil Ware is a center. Yet Bam dunked on Wemby. I mean, that's crazy. Why people can ask me, why am I surprised by this? Well, I'm surprised because we haven't seen plays like that in a while. They don't often go to the paint. They keep shooting the three-pointers. That's my point here. Okay, they have a good big guys in the Heat team that they're not utilizing. They're not utilizing that well. Khalil Ware needs to be involved in the paint. He really should be. Like Khalil Ware, 21 points. 21 points? No, 21 minutes. What the hell happened to ESPN? He had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. In field, look, listen to this. I guarantee you this would be different if Khalil Ware just attacked the paint. He is 0 for 4 in shooting. 3-pointers. He shot 4 3-pointers, missed all of them. That's the field goals too. No free throws at all. He was a -20. Not good. Unacceptable. Especially if you can compete against Wemby, Khalil Ware. That is unacceptable performance like that. You cannot play like that. You can rebound, but you cannot play like that. That is terrible. That is a terrible game. Awful. You can do better than that. If Khalil Ware is involved, you have to capitalize on it. And Spo, you gotta get him more involved. You gotta get him more involved. So, you see my points here? They're shooting threes instead of attacking the paint. What else can I say? Other than that, it's been a pretty back and forth game between Miami and San Antonio. It's like the NBA Finals. I have a bone to pick here in the first quarter. Stephon Castle was called for a foul. Here's my problem. Here's my problem with this call. First off, Wiggins missed both free throws, which would piss me off way more than it should have been. But that play, goaltending. That should have been a goaltending. That was clear as day. Clear as day. Goaltending. Clear as day. Why wouldn't you call that a goaltending is beyond me. That is clearly a goaltending. Why didn't you call it? That's mind-boggling. And worst of all, Wiggins missed both free throws. What should have been 12 and 11 ends up keeping it at 10-11. Bam shot the three-pointer, though, but that's besides the point what I'm trying to make. And then there was this call. Stephon Castle is coming in the paint. Mitchell was called for a foul. The Heat challenged this call because what Stephon Castle did, and this really frustrates the hell out of me, this is the inconsistency of the NBA, right? He had his arm right there on Mitchell, pushing him away. Yet, that's a blocking foul. I complained this a lot in Orlando. But if the Heat were to have that situation, and they did, by the way, they absolutely had the same situation in this game where they pushed off like this, same exact play, yet that was an offensive foul on the Miami Heat. This should have been an offensive foul on the Spurs. The Heat lose this challenge, and I'm just left mind-boggled. Why the hell is that not an offensive foul? That is a good challenge by the Heat. That is a bad call. Sorry, it is. Castle made a third point, and then there was this situation. Paolo Larson fouled, and they reviewed it, and it's like, yeah, it's the same thing. First quarter score was 33-31 for the Spurs. The second quarter score, although not much, the Heat won that quarter, 27-26. Okay, both teams went back and forth. This is the quarter, I think, that Bam dunked on Wemby. And I'm loving Simone Fontecchio. He is just shooting lights out in this game. He is just terrific. He is awesome. And Wiggins, I don't think he had a bad game. I really don't think he had a bad game. The Heat could not get far, though. They can't remain consistent in the scoring. And, of course, Wemby made that insane alley-oop dunk. That is impossible. And then Bam had that drive-in dunk that I was telling you about, which was awesome. At the end of it all, the halftime score ends up being 59-58 for the Spurs. Third quarter, awful third quarter. I think that quarter really is what lost us this game. Because of our defensive mistakes, we keep turning the ball over. San Antonio was stealing the basketball way too many times than they should. There was no ball protection in the third quarter. There was just none. And they outscored us by 14. 28-14 in the third quarter. And majority of those shots were either from Keldon Johnson, Jordan McLaughlin, or, you know who, Victor Wembanyama. The third quarter score ends up being 87-72. But the Heat made this comeback. They're able to take the lead from this. And it's big thanks to Bam. Fontecchio, too. There was this situation. Fontecchio makes that three-pointer. There was a foul on Dylan Harper. That was when he fouled Bam. The good thing is that the shooting motion already happened, and the three-pointer was made by Fontecchio. And considering that was the case and Bam was fouled at the same time, Bam could shoot that for to make it a 4-point game, and needless to say, he did make that one. Drew Smith makes that layup, which was pretty cool. He penetrated the paint. That's what I want to see. Fontecchio, another one. My God, Fontecchio. And then Bam, and then Jaime Jaquez, who was nowhere to be seen in this game, ends up hustling. Bam ends up making a tip-in play, and the Heat recapture the lead. It started off 72-87, and it's 89. Is it 89? Okay, it was close. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was. 89-88 for the Heat. And then Harrison Barnes. Remember Harrison Barnes? Yeah, I remember Harrison Barnes. He started to come out of nowhere. Back and forth, and then it got away. Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell with the three-pointers. The game was getting away. All they needed to do was get the rebounds. All they needed to do was protect the basketball. They just weren't doing it. Bam tried, and nobody else was helpful. Harrison Barnes with 2 free throws. Stephon Castle with a three-pointer. Wembanyama goes in. Andrew Wiggins making a three-pointer, but Victor Wembanyama with that foul. And Bam makes the three-pointers well before I continue. Victor Wembanyama gets fouled. MVP chants were loud as heck at that arena for Wemby. Wemby, you could tell, was hyped. He was hyped on this. This will be your final score. 107-101 for the San Antonio Spurs. 5-0 to start the season. First time ever. All right, box score. Let's start with Miami because they're the road team. They don't have a percentage there. They don't have a minus or a plus. He remains a 0, Andrew Wiggins. He scored 24 points with, oh my gosh, I can't believe they updated this. I'm so confused. 11 for 18 in field goals, 2 for 5 in three-pointers. No free throws were made. That was the free throws that should never have happened. That should have been a goaltending, but I digress. He has 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Bam on the ball with an incredible game. He has 31 points with 12 for 27 in field goals, 4 for 13 in three-pointers. I understand he's getting better every time in three-pointers, but I would love him to attack the paint more, especially Khalil Ware. I keep saying it. 3 for 4 in free throws with 10 rebounds, so he has yet another double-double. 3 assists, 1 steal in the block. Khalil Ware, no points at all. That was a bad game for Khalil Ware offensively with a minus 20. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and a block. Not good enough. Davion Mitchell, he has 11 points with 4 for 10 in field goals. 3 of those were three-pointers, which is not bad. So 1 more in the paint with 1 rebound, 4 assists, 1 steal. Pelle Larsson continued to make a start for Norman Powell. Only scored 5 points with 2 for 5 in field goals. 1 with a three-pointer with 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And then off the bench, Simone Fontecchio with 18 points with 5 for 7 in three-pointers. 3 for 3 in free throws with 3 rebounds, 2 assists. San Antonio, Harrison Barnes, 10 points. 2 for 6 in three-pointers, 1 more in the paint with 2 for 2 free throws with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Julius Champagny actually with just 2 points. Okay, just 2 points with a field goal. But yet he's a plus 24. Why is he a plus 24 and he missed a lot of shots? I don't get it. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Maybe that's why. Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, forget it. Bam had more scoring than with Victor Wembanyama, but here's the problem. Defensive rebounds. And he's consistent with the shooting. More or less. He has 27 points with 1 for 5 in three-pointers. That was the fourth quarter three-pointer. 10 for 23 in field goals. 18 rebounds. Yeah, forget it. 6 assists, 1 steal. And yeah, this is big reason why I wish Khalil Ware was more involved. Victor Wembanyama, as tall as he is, and the long arms that he has 5 blocks. 5 blocks. No surprise there. You're 7'4". You gotta get that blocks, and that's what he did. Devon Vassell with 17 points, with 4 for 12 in three-pointers, 6 for 16 in field goals, with 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block. And then Stephon Castle, of course, with 21 points, with 2 for 4 3-pointers, 7 for 12 in field goals with 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and a block. There you go. Keldon Johnson with 11 points with 1 for 2 3-pointers, 4 for 7 in field goals, 2 for 2 free throws. I didn't mention a lot of free throws. I kind of forgot about that because I mean this is your new format of ESPN app. Look at this. Ridiculous. I don't like it. So that's why I'm being a little bit confused. But anyway, man, this is the start of the West Coast trip. This is the first of, I believe, 4. This is the first of 4 games to the West. That was the first one. And then we have a few days off. The next game is in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, against the Lakers. I don't think we're going to see LeBron in that game. Then they go to Inglewood the night after. That's a 10:30 tip-off. Oh, my God. 10:30 tip-off at Inglewood, California. Yes, I actually been to Inglewood, California, because that arena into a dome is right across the street from SoFi Stadium. Not kidding you. And then you end the road trip in Denver, Colorado, and yeah, Denver, of course. And then you come back home. You play against Charlotte for your first NBA and Cup tournament season thing. We'll do a preview of that when the time comes. But as of right now, I think we could use another day off. Tomorrow there is no games coming from South Florida, and then there's 3. There's 3 on Saturday, and then I think just 1 on Sunday, which was the Miami Heat game. But I digress, man. All right, man, that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content, because Miami TV is back. When he does, he'll be right there with free entertainment you deserve. And coming up next is that game. Good night.